Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I pray that you guys are doing well. And if you're on TikTok, welcome back. Today I have a video for you guys and it's called Baby I Do. So these are like, God gave me three, I think they're Kingdom Spouse and really love, just love videos to put out, and I'm really excited to put them out for you guys. And I pray that this is an encouragement to you, and that the Lord speaks to you through this video. So I'm going to pray, and then we're going to get into the video. Dear Lord, I thank you for this day. I thank you, God, for the person that's watching this video, God. I pray, God, that you bless them. You show them who you are, God. You order their steps, whatever their purpose is, whatever their calling is, their assignments, God. I pray they're obedient to that. And I pray that if this word, whoever this word is for, Lord, that it reaches that person. I love you and I thank you. In Jesus' holy name, amen. So we have three different songs. This is the first video. I'm going to do 3 videos, but this is the first video. And this, the Lord gave me this, I think it was on the 18th. And I think that was Tuesday of this week or Monday of this week. And, so I was like praying. He was like, pray. So I went to pray, and then he gave me these 3 songs. So 2 of them I know already. Okay, this first song I've never heard. I heard it in a video that he sent me on TikTok. He had me saved, and I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. And he speaks to me through songs. He speaks to me through numbers. So I was like, oh, this song is really nice. But it's called Nothing in This World by, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Avant. It's A-V-A-N-T, Avant, and Kiki Watts. I'm not going to be able to pronounce her name, but I have 2 songs by them. This was the first song, is Nothing in This World, and this is such a good song. I truly got blessed from this song, so yeah. But I have some scriptures to go with it, and I have some notes to go over. So, yeah, we're going to get into it. So, my favorite book is Songs of Solomon. It's just my favorite book. Songs of Solomon. It's so good. So, we're going to be in that book today, in chapter 4. And we're going to go over verses 9 through 15 and verse 16. Okay? So, I have my little Bible here. So, I suggest that you get a Bible, or you can use your phone and take notes if you want to, or a piece of paper, whatever you want to do. It's perfectly fine. So, and I have them all dabbed right here. I don't know what I'm doing at this moment. So we're going to be in chapter 4, and we're only going to read a few verses today in this particular video, and then we have 2 other verses to go over after that. So we're going to read the verses, and then we're going to go over the lyrics to the song. So we're going to start at verse 9, and I'm out of the NLT. It says, "You have captured my heart, my treasure, my bride." So right here in this verse, he is speaking. Okay, so he is speaking in chapter 4 for majority of it, like 99% of it. She's speaking in verse 16, so they go back and forth. So yeah, right now he is speaking. So he is called the beloved, and she's the mating. So the beloved is speaking at this moment. So verse 9 again. "You have captured my heart, my treasure, my bride. You hold it hostage with one glance of your eyes, with a single jewel of your necklace. Your love delights me, my treasure, my bride. Your love is better than wine, your perfume more fragrant than spices." So that was verse 10. 11 and 12 are going to be our focus verses. So, "Your lips are as sweet as nectar, my bride. Honey and milk are under your tongue. Your clothes are scented like the cedars of Lebanon." Verse 12. "You are my private garden, my treasure, my bride, a secluded spring, a hidden fountain." 13. "Your thighs shelter a paradise of pomegranates with rare spices, henna with myrrh and saffron, fragrant calamus and cinnamon, with all the trees of frankincense, myrrh, and aloes, and every other lovely spice. You are a garden fountain, a well of fresh water, oh my goodness, streaming from Lebanon's mountain." So 16 is when she starts talking. She says, "Arise, north wind, rise up, south wind, blow on my garden and spread its fragrance all around. Come into your garden, my love, and taste its finest fruits. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Like literally, I love this. When I read this, it makes me smile. Because his desire, you can tell that he loves her, and literally, this song says, nothing in this world I would not do for you. And in this, he's saying this, like, he's basically proclaiming his love to her, and I love it. And in 16, she's like, okay, let's do it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. So they're both speaking. And in this song, they're both going back. The verses I'm going to read to you next, they're both going back and forth, and it just reminded me of this chapter in this whole book. They go both back and forth, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. So 11 and 12 are focus verses, but we're going to read the lyrics first, and this is just one part of the song that the Lord pointed out to me. So he says, I think it's about time that I make you mine. And then she goes on and she says, oh, what are you saying to me, boy? Come break it down. He says, to find another like you will be like a lifetime. And she says, I think I see the way you're going, baby. Let it out, let it out. And then he says, listen to me, baby. I got something to say. He got something to say to her. She says, is it really what I think? Don't take all day. And then he says, forever is what I want to give to you. So what do you do? What do you say? And she says, baby, I do. So the title of this video is Baby, I Do. So we are going to go to songs. We're going to go to Proverbs 18:22. And I know this is a popular verse. This is something God gave me this verse to put in here. Everybody does. Everybody reads during their things. But it says, Proverbs 18:22, the man who finds a wife finds a treasure and receives favor from the Lord. I'm like, okay. And you can just tell, because when a man finds a wife, he finds someone he desires. That wife that he finds is a treasure. And he knows that, and he receives favor from the Lord. And you can tell in these verses that we read before that he found her. He knew who she was because of all the beautiful words that he spoke about her, and just how he would, like, literally nothing in this world would stop him. He said, my bride, my treasure. He said that so much. He said, you are my private garden. That's my favorite thing. And then she says, come to your garden, my love, and taste his finest fruits. I'm like, oh my gosh, it is his garden. It belongs to him. And then one more scripture we have, 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 4. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 4. I'm back in my Bible. It says here, the wife gives authority over her body to her husband, and the husband gives authority over his body to his wife. I thought that was beautiful because our bodies are not our own anymore once we are married. It belongs to our husbands. And here she's like, hey, this is no longer my garden anymore, but this is your garden. Come and taste of its finest fruits. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. Verse 11, he really is explaining, like, really in detail. He's saying her lips are like juicy and plump. He's like, you are so, like, you're amazing, basically. He said, honey and milk are under your tongue. Your clothes are scented like the cedars of Lebanon. And I'm like, oh my gosh. He says she's smelling good. He's saying all these compliments to her. Verse 9, I'm going to go back to verse 9. He says, you capture my heart, my treasure, my bride. So she's special to him. She has taken hold of his heart, which I'm like, that is so beautiful. If you know me, I love romance stories, and this is just, like, so beautiful that this is in the Bible, and, like, when I read it, it's just so good. But it says she holds hostage with one glance of her eyes. She holds him hostage. Time stops when they're together. And I said, oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. So he's just saying all these compliments about her. And that is what, I believe a husband is. He speaks highly of you. He talks to you in such a high praise, he gives you so many compliments, and even in his mind, he's like, oh, that's who it is. That's who my wife is, there's tough times, of course, but you always have to go back to why you guys got together, which is important. In verse 12, it says, you are my private garden, my treasure, my bride, a secluded spring, a hidden fountain. So she's hidden, this is something, that spring is not open until they get married, that's his private garden now. That garden is closed until they get married, which I think is so beautiful. And that goes back to the verse 1 Corinthians 7:4, that's his garden now. That's his private garden. And he knows that, and he's proclaiming that. So I love that. So we will end with us going over the lyrics again and just breaking them down a little bit. So in the first part, he says, it's about time that I make you mine. He's telling her, I want her. He's saying, I want you. He's telling her that that's what he wants. She is who he wants, and I think that's important that he is speaking that, because in the beginning of the song, like, he's declaring his love, but he's like, hey, it's about time that I make you mine. We're not going to play any games. This is what it is, and I want you to be my wife. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. That's what a kingdom spouse is. He tells you directly, he's intentional about what he wants, and so he's saying, it's about time to make you mine. I'm like, that's so beautiful. And for her, she says, oh, what are you saying to me? Boy, break it down. So you have to be clear about what you want. I think each side has to be clear about what they're saying and what you want, because if not, then there's a lot of confusion. So be clear about what you want, ladies. Really pray to God, ask him, and say, hey, Lord, what is it that you want that you want from me as a husband, husband material, things like that. And if you want a specific thing, pray to the Lord about it. And if it's you go to him humbly and you truly ask him, not out of selfish ambition, but out of selflessness, then the Lord will provide that for you if it's according to his will. So big claimer, be clear about what you're saying and what you want. And then he goes on, to find another one like you is a lifetime. It's a lifetime. So he's like, this is who you are. You are what I want, because it would take a whole nother lifetime to find someone else like you that matches perfectly. That I love, And her, she says, I think I see the way you're going, baby, let it out. So she sees it, she sees it through his actions, through his behavior, through all of those things, she sees it from him speaking, I think it's important that each person, their behavior is important, and how you conduct yourself as well, because if the other person doesn't see that you love them, then it'll be hard for you guys to come together. Then he says, listen to me, baby, I got something to say. So this is important. The Lord had me write this down. Listen to him, ladies. Let him speak, because he has something to say. And I know we talk a lot. I know I talk a lot all the time, but just listen to him, allow him to speak, allow him to get out what he's trying to say. And then she says in the next verse, which always makes me laugh, is it really what I think? Don't take all day. So we have to be patient with him. We have to be patient with each other as well. And I know this is just me, because I'm like, hey, let's get to the point. What are we doing here? I do that all the time with everyone. I'm like, okay, so what did you just say? Okay, why did we have all these words just to say that one sentence at the end and wrap it up? So we have to be more patient with each other, and really listen to each other. And have our listening ears on. I say that to my kids all the time. Have your listening ears on, but really just be patient and listen and let each other speak, because that's important. Communication is the key to making the marriage work. And then he says, forever is what I want to give to you. So what do you say? And she says, I do. So those I do's are coming. The Lord just spoke that to me. Those I do's are coming. Those marriages, those proposals, all of those things are coming according to the Lord, And I've seen that because last year he said to me, he was like, 2024 is going to be a year of marriage. And I've seen so many marriages. I've seen so much things, like, So I'm really excited for the proposals. I love watching proposals. And the marriage is just the Lord bringing two people together and, just that love. Love is love for me, and I just love love. So, yeah. I pray that this video is a blessing to you. I'm going to say the scriptures again just in case you didn't hear them. But it's Songs of Solomon 4, 9 through 15 and verse 16. And then Proverbs 18, 22 and 1 Corinthians 7, 4. The Lord just wants you guys to know that he loves you. And please take this word back to him. Don't just go with it like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I know that I'm guilty of doing that sometimes, in the past. And I'm like, okay, let me not do that. So let's really just, it's the Lord speaking to me through this video. If not, it's not the time or anything like that. But if he is speaking to you, really take it back to him and say, okay, what did you want me to get out of this video? So yeah, I pray that you guys had a really good time reading this, and I pray this was a blessing. If you liked it, please leave a comment. And please share to other people if the Lord's called you to. So yeah, have a blessed day. Bye.